Man, what's going on? It's your boy Brandon Bird. Man, what's going down? What's going down? Just getting with you guys, man. Really want to just get on here. We'll say briefly, but I'll try to keep it around the 10 minutes frame as much as possible. But yeah, shout out to people that really like it when I'm speaking. Up on here on YouTube as well. Shout out to everybody on YouTube doing their thing as well. And shout out to anybody that's trying to start their own channel. Major big up. Definitely, man, I want to get into a few things. It's probably like social. Some is maybe scientific, maybe a little bit, geographic, and some miscellaneous things, but some very important information I like to spit on. Right now, they came out an article bees about the China. China is trying to put out a big arm, big arm towards Africa. There's still a sideways, disrespect going on with a lot of African countries in the culture of many African culture. A lot of disrespect going with the blackface continuous going on. You have the people portraying black women with with the big booty and everything, and they have a certain appearance what African or black people wear, and at the same time they're doing this back home in China. They're trying to become like a China Asian savior. I mean, one thing, you don't really, Africa, you don't need nobody to be your savior. You're actually their savior. You got what they need. If you don't give it to them, their society crumble and they fall. And that's point blank. That's point blank. I'm not disrespecting a lot of Asian people, China, Japan, and Asian, but Asian people is not really known to be creative in society. They normally get their creativity actually from spawn from others. You know what I'm saying? Even the white men know that. You know what I'm saying? They don't really they're very intelligent. They can adapt, and they can actually even improve some aspect of what type of invention or even somewhat of a thinking, but they're not capable of actually brainstorming themselves and actually inventing something out of nothing, like a possibility out of straight nothing. They can't do that. Even their societies that go back 5 to 6, 7,000 years ago was spawned through other culture that was coming through that area, and they were expired. The early Chinese culture and their history, they were basically like cave dwellers. You know what I'm saying? They were cave dwellers. They came through a lot of war and slavery and just a lot of grief. And then they came into a harmonic society. But that was the introduction of Buddha. The Buddha that came out of a black man out of Africa. So you definitely gotta understand the formality of that. But I think there's a lot of disrespect going on towards African, but at the same time they're trying to like, okay, we support you, we'll invest. And no biggie. If you got people that want to invest, that's good, but I think to the message to a lot of Africans out there, you need to control the narrative and not make outsiders control your narrative. Because it's your resource, it's your land, it's your home that they coming into. You know what I'm saying? And you have a lot of awakening. Definitely want to apologize to a lot of people in Zimbabwe. I know I made a video, thought they were cooling. They kicked out Montgomery, so I thought, the Coons were, was winning, white supremacy was winning, and that wasn't the case. The new president made declare they're not giving back no land to no white farmers, and they will continue to take some land from white farmers. So big up to Zimbabwe. I know Tariq went out there, to do some business out there. And actually, I had to go a little bit, from him going there, and from the information what was going on in Zimbabwe, especially with them not giving land, and they said they continue to take land. I had to go back and research that economy a little bit deeper into it. And actually, their economy is thriving. There's a lot of African countries that's really thriving. Very, very much. Not, in white media or main media, they don't tell you the whole thing was going on out there in Africa. There's a lot of things going on. But I think the biggest problem, is the disconnect that a lot of black Americans trying to steer away from being African and become something else. I know you got a lot of Hebrews, people that claim Hebrew, you got a lot of people that claiming Aboriginal, Native Americans, you got other people that just want to be called American. But the thing is even though I talk to a lot of these people and they talk in their different type of theory and relativity, it still go back to evolution, it still go back to genetics, it still go back to a source. You know what I'm saying? So my bloodline's still African. Yeah, I got Native American in me, but you gotta also think about it. Even the Australians, they came from Africa. So they migrated maybe several tens, almost 100,000 years ago, but there's still a source that came from Africa. Evolution came from Africa. Now, if it came technically was you actually a human, that's a whole different story to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Now, humans ain't the only species to migrate out of Africa. And I tell that to many people. You know what I'm saying? So, you got migration, you got evolution, and you got biology, and you got genetics. That's all these terms stem to each other. Like I said, man, it's a lot of discourse to a lot of black people thinking they're not African. That's something that's just preposterous to me. You know what I'm saying? Even your Aboriginal or even your Native Americans, you forgot there's ancient Africans that sailed to these places. Even Hebrew, you look at Canaanite. Canaanite and them come from Phoenicia. Phoenician come out of northern Africa. That settled through the Middle Eastern areas and which was in North Africa. And technically, if you really want to get geographic with it, the part where Canaan sits and Israel sit and Lebanon sit is really sitting on the same platonic plate as Africa. Normally, when you sit on the same platonic plate, you're actually part of that continent. See, a lot of people don't know that. Some people do know that. A lot of scientific, a lot of people, archaeologists, physics, you got a lot of different people, chemists, everybody, historians, they know that. They know that Israel is actually sitting on Africa. It's actually part of Africa. Canaan is part of Africa. But you have a lot of denial and disconnect to Africa, and that's the thing that's scary. That is your source. That is your bloodline. Even how ancient it could be, that's your bloodline. And Cynthia G actually made a video, very strong, powerful video showing the psychology of many black people and the slave trade and to be kidnapped from your homeland and to almost have that severing of connection from your homeland and what you are and your identity. So that was a very powerful video she did, and I big up to her on that. You have to And it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. I mean, look, it's very hard, even for me. But to truly, to like really know who you are, you have to really dig deep into where you want to go. You know what I'm saying? Now, from slave trade and slavery, we're very mixed. We're not, we probably not from the same African type tribe of people. I got probably multiple African tribes and genetics and lineage in me. Like every other black person in this entire Western Hemisphere. This is not just America. It's not just the United States. This is the entire Western Hemisphere. You know what I'm saying? So to really understand yourself, you really have to understand of the origin and the direction where your ancestors came out of when they hit these ports. And then you have to trace which tribe, which clans, which ethnic group that was on those was actually involved and dealing in the slave trade itself and slavery. So once you get the merits of that, then you go back and start sourcing where you really kind of come from and identify with. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but yeah, like I said, man, it was real powerful, man, very powerful connection video with Cynthia G. But yeah, definitely one, like I said, but I really don't want too many people looking at just the psychology of what African and black people globally is facing. And we're facing a very onslaught of things, But you can particularly into it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes pick your battle, choose wise, but don't give up and don't digress in your true thinking, your feelings of situation and topics. Like I said, I had a conversation with white people and shit like that all the time. Some of them, they do express some prejudice and racism in it, but I kind of can maneuver my way in there. I still get my point across, you know what I'm saying, without seeming like a militant, but they know I'm defiant because I'm not just going to take to some bullshit that they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, you gotta be very articulate when you're dealing with things like that. But in China making moves in Africa, yeah, they are because they know that's a source. So definitely, I hope African take this very found empowerment as well in its awareness and not be fooled by the Asian or Chinese that they was by the European and Americans. So they can control the narrative, they can set the rules of the game. But like I said, man, I'll drop the link below. On it, I think it's on the Daily Beast, whatever like that. But I'll drop the link in the comment below and let you look at it. All right, one.